guess. Anyway, in-game scene, switch to that, and unpause. Alright then, guys. Welcome to a 1 versus 1 on the Descent Ring map as part of this War is Coming map pack. This is a friendly game, I guess, between Doubt and TheViper. Recently played, I believe it was the 13th of December. So maybe some of you out there may have seen these games already, who knows. But I want to do this one once again with Fog of War on, and we're going to watch, well, the Viper's point of view entirely. But before we put the Fog of War on, before we bring down the curtains onto the world of the Viper, we're going to have a look at the map and, well, basically who is playing. Obviously, the guy on the right, the Viper in the yellow, as usual, playing in the yellow there, and playing as the Celts, actually. And over to his left, we have Doubt in the blue, playing as the Celts as well. The map Descent Ring, just to give you a very quick overview, 2 very small islands in the center of the lake. A lake here with good fishing, and then at the edge of the map you've got a lot of extra resources, wood, and all of that jazz. You also only start with 1 transport ship, and you start with 3 villagers and no TC, so it is a nomad style start. But that's nice because it does give you plenty of opportunity as a player to explore the map with your transport and see what you can do, safe in the knowledge that it's probably not going to be lost to an enemy town centre anytime soon, simply because there's not going to be one up for a few moments. So with Celts being mirrored here, just to confirm that, yes, Doubt playing as the Celts as well. We do obviously get to see that little bit of faster wood gathering speed that the Celts have, that little bonus to gather wood slightly faster, and that will allow them to put up their town centres a little bit faster than normal. But other than that, it will just be a standard sort of land nomad style start. And this island, pretty low on resources as well. You'll see here just 6 sheep and 4 deer. So the strategy gonna obviously be to put the town centre right here. Now, it could be possible to put your villagers in a transport ship and go and load them up to the edge of the map, but there's no guarantee that you will find food. There's no guarantees that you'll find, decent food. Obviously, here there are no boar or anything like that, but it's pretty a reliable food anyway. That much is for sure anyway. So obviously not much gold, not much wood, not much stone here even. So it's really important to choose wisely and time your escape to the outer ring of the map, and that's something that we'll see a little bit later on. Of course, water control also very important. If you manage to kill off your opponent's docks or prevent them from transporting any villagers, then you could basically leave them locked on their tiny island, marooned on these islands, and unable to escape. So obviously water control in the early game going to be really crucial, as will be fishing as well, due to the fact that yes, there is not a great deal of food here, and you will want to make a few fishing ships to aid your food income while you're in the Dark Age. So it's a really challenging map, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one goes down. It's you'd think primarily it's a water map, but it actually does have more land elements than you might expect. So Viper quickly coming up here with a house, doing a loom initially so that he doesn't get pop blocked, but I think probably regretting doing that, making that little mistake there. Pergunat even just donated $1. The imposter Pergunat, known as Pergunna, has been dealt with. Oh, okay. Well, I'm confused now, because if Pergunat is the imposter, then how is Pergunat donating? I have no idea. Maybe Pergunna and Pergunat are actually the same person. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, Viper here, making a little mistake, I feel. Probably should have tried to put the house up sooner so that he didn't get pop blocked. He obviously queued villagers. That's why his population made the population blocked sound. But at the same time, he recovered just by building the house and researching the loom while he was doing that. Perhaps could have been done a little bit more nicely, but who knows? So he's got, so far, good map visibility. He's scouting around this center lake with his transport ship, and he's managed to find a sheep as well, which he's using to scout the land a little bit. And we saw in Land Nomad yesterday, when we were watching Vic Vinchester's point of view, we saw just how much map visibility you could get with just a couple of sheep scouting around. So at the moment, not actually scouting with that, and Doubt gaining quite a bit of a score lead already, which could be due to scouting. And I imagine that is most likely to be the case. Now, the strategy on this map, you could go for a really, really risky strategy, which is to basically do a really fast feudal but at the cost of quite a few villagers. The way you would do that is obviously you've got 4 deer right here and you've got 6 sheep, so that's a total of 600 food from the sheep, 400 food from the deer, plus 160, so you've got a total of 1160 food. So you could make 10 villagers and then have just enough food with 500 food there to click up to the feudal age. Would be incredibly risky, because you're going to be going up to feudal then on about 14 population, which isn't great. But if you did go for that kind of build, then you could get a huge advantage on the water. It would be incredibly risky to try and do that, and I'd be interested to see who gets the faster feudal time here. But the chances are, if both players want to play it a little bit safer, they'll build a dock and they will obviously make some fishing ships to supplement their food income. So Viper's got a little bit of scouting going on with these sheep at the edge of the map. Obviously, he's going to want to see what he can find out here, so he's got a little bit more of an idea where to go and make his landing. Obviously, if he goes and lands somewhere like over here, he'd have no idea what's there. Obviously, he sees a few trees, but he doesn't want to really be putting a lumber camp close to the edge of the water anyway, just in case the water is lost. Obviously, those villagers would be harassed by galleys there. So, really important that he scouts around, finds all the extra gold, finds all the extra resources that he can, and he's using his sheep to do that right now. But so far, looks like he is planning to get up his first dock very soon. At the moment, sending villagers to take the shorefish, actually, which is obviously yet another source of food income. And the shorefish here, yeah, it's not amazing, but it's a little bit of extra something. But there's that dock gonna come up, and at the moment he's got 4 villagers on the wood, and he'll send another one over, I think, as soon as this dock has been built, or even this villager here might go and take some wood now, because at the moment he can't afford to build a house and a fishing ship. And when you start getting the dock producing resources or producing fishing ships as well, your population really does increase quite quickly. So it's going to be quite important that he has enough wood income here to make more fishing ships and also to make houses to support his population. He's going to be absolutely fine for now though, but he has got that 5th villager on the wood, and that's going to be able to sustain fishing ship production and give him enough income of wood to also get houses up as well. So there's another house coming up there just before he gets pop blocked. And obviously, if you get population caps, that's a really quite costly thing to have to deal with. And if you can help it, you should never ever get pop blocked. If you can manage to pull that off. So Viper then, just about to get that next deer. His last sheep is now being taken, and at the moment he is taking shorefish as well, actually fishing the shorefish here. Obviously that's going to be a little bit of a bonus resource, but it's not going to be that great because he obviously has to travel quite a long way. Has got a fishing ship out now though, but if he doesn't get the food to go up to feudal in the next couple of seconds, then obviously he's going to have to build more fishing ships, maybe even a second dock, which is going to slow things right down. So instead of doing that, everyone is crowding around that deer. Everyone's going to take the shorefish, and he's just trying to get that last little bit of a boost so he can actually get the food to go up to feudal. He's on 22 population and he's delaying more villagers coming out. As soon as he queues another villager, he's going to slow his feudal time down, and once this deer is done, I think he's going to be able to click up 22 population. Not bad at all, and that's a reasonable time. So they're just under 13 minutes, which isn't bad for the kind of start that is on this map. Switching now everything into wood and switching into gold as well, which is basically your typical Grush build order, and it's so important to start getting galleys out quickly. But you can see the difference here if we have a look quickly at Doubt. Doubt had an extra fishing ship out. He's also still got that deer and sheep left, and he was also taking these shorefish. So I can only assume that Doubt has not clicked up to feudal yet. I may be wrong, but I'm assuming that Viper did have a slightly faster click up to the feudal age there. So at the moment, he's just going to build his second dock. He's going to get that wood income. Obviously, he will need houses. He might also want to transport some villagers to the edge of the map, because the wood here is not going to last much longer, and it will be taken pretty quickly. So there is a risk here that if you don't get off your island and you end up getting surrounded, or you end up losing the water, then you are probably gonna have a bad time taking wood, and if you can't take more wood, then obviously you're gonna have the issue of not being able to make more galleys to save yourself. So it's basically a lose-lose situation if you run out of wood. But wow, Doubt, surprisingly, getting up to the feudal age first. I honestly would not have thought that, simply because he made that extra fishing ship. So that kind of shows you just how far ahead Doubt is at the moment. Zach is my wet dreams, just donated $1. My girlfriend still doesn't like that I have wet dreams about Zach in the night. Well, don't be sad. That's like, some people would pay to have that happen to them. Thank you for your donation anyway, man. I don't really know what to say to that other than buckle up and you'll be fine, I'm sure. So we've seen already then that Doubt has more fishing ships out on the water. We know he has 4. And with that information, we know that Doubt is going to be reasonably far ahead at this point in time. He had a faster feudal time, and there comes his first galley as well. Not so much of an advantage that he can start killing these fishing ships, but Viper here with 3 galleys out, and obviously going to be slightly more defensive, I feel, for the next couple of minutes. He's also put his lumber camp quite close to the edge of the map there. Could have come down to this corner, would have been further to travel, but obviously if he loses water control, galleys here could start killing villagers, and that is not nice at all. Doubt actually just two galleys, which could mean he's only got 2 docks, but I doubt it. You would assume he'd be going for 3, but obviously what is through that fog, we simply do not know. We can only make certain assumptions. But for now, Viper's just transporting his villagers away, sending them over to this lumber camp over here, so that they can basically be split up and stay effective, stay saturated, and not block each other. So Doubt 5 galleys. Viper's got 5 as well, and it's going to be a while before we see fletching coming in. I imagine both players are going to be pretty starved for food, and it's really important at this point in the game that you do not lose your fishing ships, because these 3 ships here for Viper bringing in just enough food to keep villagers coming out. And in fact, if this one isn't, there we go, if that one wasn't dropping off food, then he wouldn't be able to afford another one as well. Interestingly enough, those 6 villagers now going over to the gold there. 6 is a little high. You would only see 5 normally. So that extra villager onto gold could indicate that he will go for a 4th dock fairly soon. If he does go for a 4th dock, obviously that will give him much more water prowess. But at the same time, he is struggling now. He's only just keeping villager production going, and if that villager production stops, he may find himself falling behind. But we see 2 docks from Doubt. I can only assume he has got 3, given the fact he's keeping up with the Viper in galley count. But Viper here, really cutting it very fine. Absolutely no food left at all in the bank. Town center falls idle, and he runs into Doubt's galleys here as well. Obviously, micromanagement is going to be key to winning these little fights when the numbers are fairly even. And I would say that these numbers here are looking very even indeed. Having a quick look then at the population count, yeah, both of them have got 11 military units on the map at the moment. I won't be looking at that too much. We kind of want to see it from Viper's eyes only, and Viper doesn't have access to those statistics, but we could see that Doubt did have quite a few more fishing, oh, not fishing ships, actually, just quite a few more villagers, or just economy population. Viper's TC has been idle for quite a while here, and he's really sacrificing this villager production in favor of that extra dock. And there it is, coming up right at the top of the map. And obviously, that extra villager was a dead giveaway about that. So, at the moment, he's actually still delaying as well, because he's getting that blacksmith up. And this is how, it's almost how all in he is. It's just how fine he's cutting this. He's got 90 food. He needs 100 for fletching, and he needs 50 gold. So he's going to drop the food off here with these fishing ships. He's actually prioritizing fletching here, which is just like, what? TC is still idle, and his villager count is falling way behind, but he is banking on the fact that he is going to get ahead in the army, and if he can take out Doubt's fishing ships, then everything's going to be level field. But he is banking on being able to do that, and this is where the risk is coming in. So Viper's now got fletching, Doubt does not, and we see the 3 docks from Doubt here. There's the 4th, so we know Doubt's gone up to 4 as well, but we also know that Doubt has got more fishing ships, and Viper in fact adding in a 4th fishing ship now. But obviously, At this point in time, he knows he's got to try and hit some of Doubt's eco. He must be thinking that Doubt is ahead in terms of eco. Maybe going to pick off a villager if he can get close to the gold there. Now at the top of the map he sent more villagers across to take the wood, and if you have a look, these trees that were initially on the island pretty much all gone. There's not really much wood left here at all, so both players probably got both of them, most likely got their villagers now taking wood on the outside areas of the map. And that's where the game sort of transitions slightly from being mostly water-based to being more land-based. You can see there as well, Doubt keeping his fishing ships safe with his galleys. And Viper seems a little outnumbered, but at the same time, he has got that fletching upgrade. So for Viper here, he should be able to engage Doubt, and he should be able to get a victory. We will see about that. He sees the villagers here. Of course, he's going to go for a snipe on that. That's 2, maybe 3 villagers here that he will kill from Doubt. And wow, he's actually only going to get 2. I thought he might have got a couple more, but now getting a little bit close to that TC, but going to go for the fishing ships. And this is exactly what he was banking on happening, and now he's done that. Now he's taken those ships, he's taken the score lead, and he's actually pulling himself ahead, simply because of that little gamble that he took. No risk, well, higher risk, higher reward, but potentially falling behind slightly in galley production at the moment. We'll have a quick look just to tempt ourselves. Viper with just 1 extra galley on the map at the moment over Doubt. Obviously though, Viper's navy is pretty split up, and at the moment he's running headlong into that. Doubt just going to quickly turn around, and that was a good move by Doubt there. Viper's army being split. He's got a bunch of units on the right, some at the bottom. He's not got his entire navy together, which Doubt seems to have, being able to pick off quite a few fishing ships, a few galleys from the Viper there. And that brings Doubt ahead in terms of military, and could hit Viper right back here with these fishing ships. If you want to, if you've just been hit with your eco, you really need to level the playing field as soon as you can. And that's exactly what Doubt is going to try and do now. He's got fletching done as well, and he looks like he has a superior number of galleys. We will see. Viper, of course, going to try and defend these fishing ships and these villagers here as best he can. Microing back and forth, the typical sort of micro that you expect to see. And he's going to force Doubt right back. Doubt here, still trying to fire a few volleys of arrows on the way out, but it seems like his micro slightly slipping there. Viper getting a couple of really nice trades, able to get a few of those volleys landing, and without taking any damage at all. Viper now back in that score lead and moving out more, or sending more villagers out to the edge of the map as ever. So the second and third town centre, once they reach the castle age, is likely to be coming up on the edge of the map. You may notice here, Viper's actually got a lot of gold in the bank, and he's still making a lot of galleys. He's still making 4 galleys at a time, but that's quite a lot of a gold build up there, and you may have noticed he did have quite a lot of villagers taking the gold right outside of his TC. And at the moment, he has 0 gold income. So he's relying on that little bank of gold that he's built up here for the next few moments. And he doesn't need to worry too much about gold, because galleys, 30 gold each. He's got enough gold there to last him for quite a few galleys. And a good micro as well, avoiding a lot of Doubt's volleys of arrows there. Really nicely done, actually. Look at that. Half of Doubt's galleys are just missing. And Doubt even saying in the chat, stop running away, I want to fight you. But of course, Viper doesn't want to fight when he's outnumbered, and now he's got more galleys out on the field. He might not be outnumbered. This one here, beached on the land. I don't know if he's going to be able to salvage that. Obviously that galley, if it's on the land, it's stuck, it's useless. But both of them really committing to these fights. This is good. This is what we want to see in a water fight. We don't want to just see 20 minutes of back and forth action. We want to see complete just mashes of galleys fighting it out. We have a new Wallow Warlord, Ericulus. Thank you very much for subscribing, man, and thank you for becoming a Wallow Warlord as well. And you are now the official best new subscriber. When will it end? Thank you very much, though. Thank you for the support. Viper then on this left side looks like he's got the superior numbers, which is really nice. And we're going to have a look quickly at what he can see on the edge of the map. And looking at his line of sight, he does not see Doubt anywhere on the outer areas of this map. And you probably make the safe assumption that Doubt's on this left side somewhere, due to the fact that, well, he's on the left side of the map in his starting location. So right now, Viper's back on the gold, and he's starting to take some food over here as well, taking advantage of the sheep that were laying around. Obviously, the Castle Age now is going to be the next milestone in this game. Not only will it allow them to get those second and third town centers up on the edge of the map, but that war galley upgrade and the faster production that having the war galley upgrade gives you. Judging by the scores here, you might assume that Doubt actually has clicked up to the Castle Age already. And we can see through the fog he's got a farm. We don't really know what he's taking out here on the edge of the map. He could have more farms up. We know that Viper's killed a couple of his fishing ships off, but that big of a score difference cannot be purely, at this stage, I don't believe, from simply military activity. I don't think Viper's that far ahead in military, although he did do some fantastic micro, and he did actually kill a lot of Doubt ships. But we can see now that Doubt kind of running away from Viper's army. And that could be quite a big indicator that he's clicked up to Castle. He doesn't have that many galleys here either. And now I'm starting to get a little bit worried for Doubt on the water, as Viper kills off a few of his villagers on the land, and obviously has a much superior sized navy. But we've seen this in the past before. We've seen players really sacrifice a lot of their water in the feudal age simply so that they can get up to the Castle Age faster. But Viper's clicked up to Castle now as well, and it did not take him long to do that. I can only assume he bought some food at the market, simply building a market there, buying some food with that excess gold. But he has got a few idle villagers over here, which is a little bit messy and something that we wouldn't really be expecting to see. But there you go, villagers now building more lumber, because this is a primarily water map. In the early stages of the game anyway, more lumber is always required. You can never have enough wood on a map like this. So Doubt's navy really does seem to be lacking. So there's either one of, well, two things happening at the moment. Doubt's either going up to the Castle Age, and as such he's kind of thought, right, I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of water here to get the Castle Age earlier, and then I'm going to bounce back once I've got the war galley upgrade. Or he's planning something on the land. And if that is the case, then he could be going either up to 2 or 3 TCs pretty quickly, or he could be planning an attack at the edge of the map. We just don't know, but his score quite a way behind Viper at the moment. I think that's mostly because he's just lost quite a few galleys. He is still making them by the looks of things, but there's the Castle Age upgrade for Viper there, and Doubt just behind him. Really not a lot in it at all for that upgrade time. So the question remains then, why is it that Doubt has so few galleys at the moment? Was it because Viper simply played better on the water, or are there other reasons? And at the moment, Viper still with the larger navy by the looks of things, but Doubt's definitely not stopped galley production, and he's kind of had his army split up a little bit, looking for a couple of villager kills here, and obviously looking for a fast war galley and a fast Bodkin Arrow upgrade. So there's Bodkin Arrow for Doubt straight away. Viper just researching Bodkin Arrow now, and there's War Galley for Doubt as well. So considering Doubt was a few seconds behind in that Castle Age upgrade, Viper slower to get the Bodkin Arrow. So Doubt going to focus down this dock at the top, and I think that's a great decision, stinting Viper's galley production, and those galleons or war galleys do produce quite considerably faster once they get up to the Castle Age. But at the moment, Viper with very little gold income, and he is taking gold up in the north. He's taking gold over at his town centre, but he actually doesn't have any galley production at the moment, and I'm not 100% why that is. Obviously Viper here trying to trade a dock with Doubt as well, but so far unable to take that dock down, and now Doubt taking that score lead, bouncing back, and he's actually got a lot of war galleys out on the map at the moment. Just 4 docks for Viper now, and that 5th one being rebuilt, and I can probably safely assume that Doubt is still on the 4, unless there's one at the back that we've not seen. But Viper getting some villager kills here as well, and actually prioritizing ballistics as well there. From that university, ballistics being researched really quite early on, and we'll see if Doubt's got that fairly soon. But that ballistics upgrade's pretty important. It does allow you to pick off fleeing ships much more effectively. It does negate your opponent's attempts at any micromanagement that they might be going for. So Viper trying to get some villager kills. In the meantime, Doubt's trying to destroy this town centre. Of course, if he can pull that off, that would be pretty big. That is no small deal. And Doubt, obviously, scaring Viper back at the moment with what appears to be a larger navy right now. So on the land then, no second or third town center up yet, and that is simply because Viper opted for ballistics first. Ballistics obviously requiring a university, requiring those resources to actually do it. Not ideal to do that and a town center simultaneously. Can become quite difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 docks for Viper still. At the moment we only see 4 from Doubt, but for all we know he could have some over on this left hand side. Viper's looking good at the moment though. I mean, he is killing off quite a lot of these villagers, and I mean these islands really don't have a lot left once the wood is gone and once those tiny amounts of gold have been taken. Viper at the moment also taking the stone here, but this transport's hovering around looking for more villagers to take, I guess, and put them on the outer areas of the map. So at the moment Viper could easily put up that second or third town center. Again, his food count looking pretty low, and if we have a look as well, he has lost his fishing ships, so no villager production right now. Once again, no villager production. I'm still quite surprised that that is the case. You could also afford his third town center now as well, but there's no food to make villagers with, and we don't know what Doubt's situation is like on the left of the map, but it just shows you how much these players prioritize water over like anything else. I mean, villagers? Nah, who needs them? We need more galleys here if we're going to do anything. But so far, Viper's harassment does seem to be pretty good. He does seem to have killed more villagers overall. And at the moment, there's very little left here, apart from this stone which he's taking. Everything else has been moved to the edge of the map, just getting up that second TC, but still no third town center. And immediately going to seed those farms to get a little bit more food income, as he really cannot afford at this point in time to not have villager production. So Viper's Navy splitting up a little bit here. The guys on the left seeing what Doubt's got, and we can see that Doubt has got his TC over on this left side. He's got quite a few mills over here as well, but no more docks. So Viper may assume that because he's on the 5 docks, he will have a little bit more galley production, but Doubt's galleys just seem to be endless. He's also got ship armor upgrade at the moment as well, which does give him that +1 defense and a little bit of an advantage over Viper here. We'll see who wins this battle though. Viper seems to be pulling ahead in the scores, and Doubt, even with that ship armor upgrade, just doesn't seem to have the galleys he needs. On this left side he's gonna fall, and although Viper's going away in the north, Doubt here continuing to pressure where he can. So it could still go in Doubt's favor. Viper retreating on the top on that side did cost him a little bit, but Doubt here simply outnumbered, and even with that defense upgrade, probably not going to be able to pull this one off. And as he retreats, because of that ballistics upgrade, Viper's able to land a few more shots as well. Doubt here severely losing quite a lot of water control right now, and obviously that is pretty costly. But at this stage of the game, once you get to like late Castle Age, I feel like water does become slightly less important, simply because, I mean, what is left on this island to defend, aside from your houses and your town centre, which is just a pain in the ass because you have to send the villagers to the edge of the map anyway, there's not a lot that you can gain from holding this centre island. So I can only assume then that this game's going to progress fairly soon into a land battle, and that is simply because Doubt at the moment does seem to be falling quite a ways behind on the water, and as such he's going to want to be switching into land as well. More docks for the Viper coming up, or at least another one anyway, and he's going to be making more galleys still. He could also take advantage of he could always take advantage of the fish that these guys have, this lake has even, and get a little bit of more food income from that. But at the moment, gonna use this moment to take down those houses so that Doubt has to rebuild, and that's always a pain in the ass, you know. It's difficult enough not getting housed normally, and then when your opponents are focusing down your houses, oh, that's annoying. That is really annoying. Doubt could pick off this transport though. That would be a pretty big shot, but so far just unable to catch it up. I'm just waiting to see what happens on the land at the moment. I'm wondering if we're going to see any walls coming in. It could happen at any time. But Doubt here doing a good job. He's picking off some of these weak units, or not the weak units, the ones that are kind of separated from Viper's main army. And still, Viper does not have that +1 ship armor, so Doubt able to tank slightly more than he would normally be able to. It basically means that every shot that the Viper fires is doing one less damage, which is, you know, quite considerable in the long run, I guess. And when you've got 135 health, that's a lot of damage that could be reduced. But even still, Doubt just does not seem to have the galleys on the water at the moment, and usually in this situation you're going to be feeling pretty good if you're taking the water control. But at the moment Viper's not making anything of that water control. There's no more fishing ships coming out, there's nothing like that, and it would be risky for him to stop making galleys. And wow, suddenly out of nowhere, Doubt piling in with even more galleys still, and now Viper might lose this fight. He's continuing to go forwards, but he really doesn't actually have that much here. Doubt suddenly out of nowhere just bringing a ton more galleys in, and like I say, I mean, we don't know if he has another dock over at this south side of the map or something, but that is looking pretty substantial for him, and he's brought it right back. There's literally 7 points in it at the moment, which is very, very little. So Doubt pushing Viper right back, and that ship armor upgrade, I must keep stressing, has a pretty big impact on this fight. So meanwhile on the land then, that second and third town center is up and running now for Viper. Obviously this one in the north's been going for a while, and taking a lot of gold, taking plenty of wood to make farms and all of that jazz. But no walls, no vision, no vision on the land. And I mean, at any point Doubt could just come, you know, tromping on through with some army. We just don't know, but I think at the moment Doubt, he should have the water. I mean, you would assume. Coming over here to the south, going to pick a couple of villagers off, and that's not going to be too bad at all. Ballistics clearly done for Doubt here as well, so Doubt arguably going even more heavy into water than we would have expected, doing the ship armor and ballistics really early on as well. At the moment though, Viper still has that score lead, and we can only think, I guess, at this point that either Viper has traded better on the water, killed more than he's lost, or he has got a slightly bigger eco, and he's actually building a couple more docks over here as well for some more water control a little later. But he is fleeing away as Doubt picks off those ships one at a time, and well, makes pretty short work of them. Clearly with a very good sized army here and able to do a decent amount of damage. Viper also has a lot of villagers in here that are just idle. 7 villagers inside of that town center that's simply doing nothing but repairing it. That's all they're doing. They don't really have a lot to do over on this island. There's no resources left to gather. So yet another big fight on this left side, on the north side of the map, I guess. Once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Doubt manages to win this. At first glance it might look like Viper has more units, but he actually has them just more spread out. Doubt, all of his units piled on top of each other. There's a lot here, more than we might at first assume, and he's bringing more in as well, coming in on that flank, and Doubt has easily won that fight now. So Doubt really going to take the water control quite rapidly all of a sudden, which is really a really good move by him. And he's either done that by continually making docks, but I don't believe he's done that off of 4 docks. He must have more docks up, and they must be over on the left side or on the edge of the map somewhere. So Viper now going to lose a few villagers here. Doubt's going to have a field day taking those guys out, or maybe even taking the town center down as well. Viper's making a transport, but of course that is not going to succeed at this rate, and there's no more galleys coming out here either. At the north of the map, those 2 docks that he built extra, nothing coming out of there. And I think Viper now probably going to be giving up on the water as he puts those villagers inside the town center, and Doubt basically cleans up over here. As I said though, there's not much value to this island, so you could argue that, well, what use is water control at the moment? You could always harass stuff from the shore, and you could always transport as well, which would negate your opponent's walls if you hold the water control. So Viper perhaps going to be planning a land attack very soon. He does not have that big of an eco. At this point in the game, at 50 minutes, you would think on a normal map, you know, 120 population in villagers easily. But at the moment, Viper's down on 66 population. It's not a huge amount. And we can see a villager here from Doubt coming forwards as well. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with that, but we could see an attack coming in on this north side fairly soon if Viper doesn't notice that. So he's got a lot of villagers taking stone. Defensive castles are probably going to be pretty valuable to him. And Ephistian69. My card gets charged $4.99 a month, but Twitch doesn't say I'm subscribed. I'm not a warlord on your channel. That is very, very strange. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that is. I would suggest contacting Twitch and letting them know. I don't actually have any information about subscribers or anything like that. It's purely handled by Twitch on, I guess, my behalf. So if you have any issues, then do contact them, because unfortunately I just simply have no answers for you. But we can talk about that a little bit later on. Thank you for the donation anyway, and we'll get that sorted out, I'm sure. So Viper at the moment then, really trying to boom up as quickly as he can. That third TC over here, or the fourth I guess now, coming up. And obviously trying to just get relics, get everything he can, going to try and convert these ships. Well, maybe not even convert them, maybe just push them away, but not good. Letting his micro slip a little bit there, and basically losing his monk. He has got one relic though, and he might try and get that one as well. Going to be a little bit difficult with Doubt littering the shoreline. But this game is going to be tough now, because you can bet your ass that Doubt is either very close to the Imperial Age now, or Doubt is also planning a land attack. There's that villager there in the north, and we can see that he's obviously just walling up, and that means that Doubt, if he walls up here and here, he's going to have decent map control as well. We have got a Viper landing coming in though, and given enough time to escape, fortunately, and just doing handcart at 53 minutes. Obviously missing that research earlier on. Handcart does cost a considerable amount of food, and it can be, 300 food. It's quite a chunk of your 1,000 that you need for Imperial, but it's so important that you do that upgrade. I mean, that upgrade is pretty huge. At the end of the day, that's going to make your farms a lot more effective, and you're going to get a lot more value or a lot more resources from your farms faster, basically, by having that wheelbarrow upgrade done. Handcart, sorry. Wheelbarrow as well, but handcart here. So Viper now, these villagers in the north going to make a sneak attack. This could be pretty huge actually. Obviously, Doubt's going to think he's safe behind these walls. In the south, we don't see any walling there at all. But Viper's quick booming up as fast as he can. Castle going up here to basically try and protect his docks. And that will probably push Doubt away a little bit. He has got Bodkin Arrow, we know that much. So he's going to have 8+2 range on the castle, which should be enough to keep his docks safe for now. But in the north, this little siege workshop here could be pretty good. Like I say, Doubt probably not expecting anything up here, as far as he's concerned, nothing has escaped this island. He's not seen it if it has. And wow, Viper managing to get another boatload of villagers over just as Doubt's war galley there picks that transport off at the last second. But we might see a mangonel in the north here, and yeah, another siege workshop as well. Viper could very quickly take down this town center with a couple of mangonels. Question is, what does Doubt have behind that? We simply don't know. And obviously at the moment, Viper's pretty in the dark. He doesn't really know what Doubt is up to behind that fog of war. But we can probably assume that he is booming up. We could probably assume that he's got the Imperial Age in mind. And given this wall at the top, we can probably assume he's got one at the bottom or on the left side as well. So this could be pretty interesting. A castle going up here as well. And obviously we can see that there's a villager's, wood line here. Question is, will Doubt see this castle? And he could very well see that. If he has got town watch, for instance, that castle could be in Doubt's line of sight. At the moment, we don't know. And in fact, wow, Doubt there trying to do another wall off, but Viper actually just killing his scout pretty quickly. A lot of attack notifications though, as those docks get taken down, and Viper's just not able to do too much. He is adding in a couple of fires, which is nice, a little addition. Do fire ships do their jobs though? Well, you guys know the answer to that. So Doubt here, he's seeing this. I mean, obviously he's seeing this. Viper's mangonels popping out. I'm surprised he didn't notice this though. I'm surprised. 2 sheeps caught in a massacre. A couple of these villagers from Doubt running away, and that castle will go up. And that's actually a really nice little sneak from Viper there. Honestly, I thought Doubt would have seen that, but these mangonels coming in, they're going to kill some villagers. 4 mangonels now, more villagers going down, and that's actually really costly. Obviously, this town centre, 4 mangonels on it, and maybe more coming out. No more coming out now. He's saving for the Imperial Age, but there's the Imperial Age for Doubt. Obviously, he was a much faster up to the Imperial Age, but he's going to lose this TC before he can even react at this time. And obviously, Bodkin Arrow, Fletching, Bracer, they don't add to the range of your town centre, so that mangonel with 7 range, just out of firing range from the town centres here, and that TC is going to go down pretty quickly. Woad Raiders coming out of this castle, and Viper just clicking up to the Imperial Age as well, but Doubt considerably ahead with that Imperial Age upgrade. I'm surprised he's not walled up further on this left side, but at the moment actually looking at risk as these mangonels just flatten his economy. I'm not sure if Doubt's going to be really prepared at all for an attack like this. Obviously, he's been booming up for a while. He's up to the Imperial Age now, so you would assume that he's got a castle on the way up, or a castle somewhere, but we're not seeing any resistance to this push, and Viper's going to come straight back down. That Celtic Siege, of course, as well, firing faster. And he's going to go straight for the next town centre. More sheep being caught in the crossfire. And that TC going to fall as well by the looks of it. And just nothing here at all. Nothing from Doubt. That's so weird. Knights coming out from him. And it's Celts. Knights not really the best idea. It's not the end of the world if he's not got a castle, which we can assume now that he doesn't. We can be safe in the knowledge that he doesn't have a castle. But those knights gonna come out, and that's gonna save his TC for now. Scrambling to get those knights up, and at the moment just +2 defense on that. And Viper suddenly not looking too bad at all. We know that Doubt's up to Imperial, but he's looking a little bit fragile. His upgrades are going to be quite slow to come in. He's just lost a pretty big portion of his eco there. And Viper now about to hit the Imperial Age as well. And we've got barracks coming up in the north of the map. What else is going on elsewhere? Well, a wall off on the left side. Unusual, but it's happening. Wall off on that left side. And this monk here, I think, gonna die again. That's twice he's gone for that relic, and twice his monk has been killed off. It doesn't seem like he's going to go back on the water. It's literally just going to become a land war. And that's kind of how this game does end up progressing. There's still a lot of fish available in here. For all we know, Doubt could be doing some fishing as well. Though I don't think he is. I do doubt that Doubt is fishing at this moment in time. So right now then, obviously barracks coming up. Viper's got a ton of resources, and he's doing the pikeman upgrade here. Could be doing halbs as well fairly soon, but obviously that's just in response to the cavalry that we know that the Doubt is making. Chainmail armor at the blacksmith, and at the moment it's just wood that Viper's short on. He's got all the gold in the world, which is unusual to say the least. But there you go. Obviously, Trebs coming forwards now. And we see those knights there. Nice thing about the Trebs, of course, that you get such a huge amount of line of sight with them. Those pikes, well, not that upgraded at the moment, but I don't think Doubt's going to want to engage them head on even still. So, obviously, going to try and counter those knights with them. And for Doubt at the moment, +1 attack, +2 defense. They're not massively upgraded. There's no cavalier research here. And elite Woad Raider coming in for Viper as well. More pikes just being queued up. But that wood being spent pretty quickly here as Viper queues up those pikes. And not enough wood here for a second trebuchet just yet. But Woad Raiders, yes. Plenty of Woad Raiders. Woad raiding potential, I'm sure. So Cavaliers then being dropped off just at the north of this town centre, and this is something now that Doubt can do for the rest of the game. Viper with 0 water control, and that is going to be a little costly when Doubt starts landing military units into his eco. There's very little he can do to protect that, aside from building a lot of castles, and I'm surprised he's not built more, to be honest with you. Just 2 castles for the Viper at the moment, and he's sitting on 2,500 stone. He could easily make another 2 or 3 castles here, boost his Woad Raider production, if not that, just secure a little bit of land. You may have noticed that as well. The trebuchet landing on that cavalier, and he just got squished. He got splattered. But there we go. Viper taking the score lead, and he's pushing on through now with halbs, +2 defense, +1 attack, Woad Raiders, and that trebuchet as well. So Doubt really not going to want to engage head on with those with those halbs there. But he has got his ships, he can bring them over. They're upgraded to galleon. And just being a nuisance at the shoreline, it seems. But he can definitely use these to help protect his eco a little bit. But still, Viper continuing to push forward. And we know that Doubt's not got a lot over here, because Viper was there a minute ago. And actually, putting up that castle on that left side is a good idea. Going to secure himself that gold. And he's still not finished that wall, which is something as well. Moving along the back of the map, trying to stay out of range of these galleons, of course. Should be easy enough to achieve. And we can see here that Doubt now starting to pile those upgrades onto the Cavalier. He could still do the Paladin upgrade, but the Celt Paladin's really not the best unit in the game. Elite Woad Raiders really where it's at for the Celts, and with these halbs as well, able to be fully upgraded, it's no surprise that the halbs are part of Viper's army composition. But switching to two-handed swordsman, and Doubt here probably trying to counter the halbs from Viper with those, but it baffles me that Doubt hasn't taken any stone for a castle. I mean, a castle is, you know, a bread and butter building that the Celts require in order to get trebs, in order to get the Woad Raiders, which are so strong in the late game. And he's not done that, and I'm really surprised that Doubt does not have a castle here. I mean, on a water map as well, simply because castles are so great at holding down areas of the map. I find it just so odd that he wouldn't do that. So, those Cavalier, not the best, but that champion upgrade now coming in, and he's made that switch. So, he might just hold off these halbs for a while. But Doubt really doesn't seem to have all that much going on back here. He's lost a huge portion of his base. And Viper now can kind of just edge forward with that Treb, making a lot of Woad Raiders, and there's still a lot of resources in the bank here for him. All of that gold even, which can be spent later on other stuff. Now I did just hear docks coming up, and obviously if Viper can retake the water now, that would be huge. He's got plenty of gold, it's the wood that's the issue, but plenty of villagers to take resources now as well. A double fronted attack on the left side, he's got that castle breaking down that gate, and on the top he's got his Woad Raiders to protect his Treb, with those champions falling very, very quickly. Retaking the water then, it seems. We might see some galleons coming out fairly soon. We could see some more fire ships if he's that way inclined. But it doesn't really matter what he goes for. The ultimate aim is to take the water back with those docks. But at the moment, the land attack is going so well, it might not even really be necessary to retake the water. Doubt just simply doesn't seem to have the numbers. He doesn't seem to have the production. And now that he's lost, you know, all of these farms, he's definitely not going to have much food to keep producing champions with. Obviously 60 food each, they're not cheap. Castle has finally gone up though, and I'm so surprised that castle was not up a lot sooner. Doubt probably building in the corner of the map here, but he doesn't have much space. Viper coming forwards, another castle being plonked in the center here, and Doubt trying to take that stone, but he's not going to have it any longer as these Woad Raiders come in to clear up once again. And this is just fantastic play from the Viper here. Neglecting these docks, I don't think he needs them, to be honest with you. He's got so much momentum here. And this castle now going up as well. Doubt about to lose even more farmland. And man, this game just goes to show that water is not everything. And I did say kind of at the start of this game, the game progresses. It progresses from water into land as the game goes on. But this is great raiding. That's exactly what the Woad Raiders should do. The clue is in the name. And Doubt here, a lot of villagers getting killed off. A lot of them, they can't even get inside the town center. And Viper is just going to take the game. Doubt GGing out. And that game was just fantastically done by Viper. It was well played by Doubt. You've got to admit, he obviously had very good early game. He was faster up to Fudal. He took the water control, which is a huge victory for him. But man, he just threw that game there once Viper switched onto the land. And granted, this attack in the north really caught him off guard, but it was very well executed. And it's very unusual to see a game where the water is completely lost, and then that player that just lost the water to make a comeback like that. But like I said, Viper had huge momentum. Doubt's economy on the land just got crushed. And although he did have fishing ships and all of that jazz, he was taking advantage of that water control. Just the lack of castles, the lack of preparedness. Once he got up to the Imperial Age, he wasn't making any military at all, and that obviously cost him quite a lot. Well played by Viper there, and that was an awesome game. I like to see it from one person's perspective every now and then, and I think I might do this more often because it really gives you more of an insight into the finer details of the map. We can have a quick look at the stats here. Military, Viper killed 224 and lost 205 there, with Doubt losing that 204 and killing 204 and losing 226. Having a quick look at the population in the end, Viper had much more military and a huge number extra on the eco as well. Obviously, Doubt just lost so much eco in such a short space. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that.